Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 12 of 21 day reset. Day 12, come on. Let's go. We're going here. We're rolling. It's been a great day. I hope your day has gone well. Also, thank you again for continuing to stay the journey of staying the course, of getting clear on what it is that you want to behold for 2025. The visions, the dreams, what you want to grow in and develop and move forward in, and all that you can imagine and hope for. We have to have hope. We have to have faith. We have to have a belief. We have to carry a vision of where it is that we want to be led to in the coming years, the coming days. Like it's important. You're important. Your life is important. We have to carry purpose in our life. Every human being was created for purpose. Every human being has been created for the desire of more. We're creative beings. We have God Himself. We were made in God's image. We carry the presence, the Spirit of God in us, and Spirit is always looking for greater expansion and greater expression. And so that is because when we start to identify that, we can be dead to it. We can live our lives, just live our lives. But when we identify the creativeness of God in our life and being a purpose being and not a doing, this changes the trajectory of everything. It changes the outlook of how you look at things, how you perceive things, how you have a desire to grow and to become. When you get in touch with that inner being, that innerness, that beingness within looking at it the perspective of there's something in me, there's something more inside of me that I know that I'm to seek out. God says, I know the plans that I have for you. God says this to you, okay? Whether you know Him, whether you desire, whatever, regardless of where you're at, God says, I know the plans that I have for you. Plans for good and not evil. You are not created as an evil being. Right? You were created as a perfect and beautiful being. And we step into the world that we live in that is not perfect, that there is sin, there is conflict, and that affects us. And along the way we miss the point. We have to go on this journey of rediscovering, what that is, or who God is, or what is our life about. And it's a beautiful journey. And so that's why I just feel like 21 day journey, the start of every year, is so important, just to take that time aside to get clarity, because distractions happen. We strive, we rise, we fall, we have letdowns, we have excitements, right? We have great runs, and then we have slow runs, and whatever it may be, we get off course sometimes, right? We get a little distracted. And so that's why it's really important to visit this vision, to visit your dream, to really get a hold of it so that you can resonate at a higher level, a higher level of understanding, a higher level of awareness. I spoke about a few days ago, talking about the different levels of awareness of where we rise to. And it's not that we need to rise, it's just we need to come into a greater awareness of who we are, whose we are, and why we're doing what we're doing. And that greater awareness comes with the understanding of who God is and what God did for us, right? What Jesus did for us, really redeeming us to that place of being one with God. Just truly understanding that we are fully loved, we are fully accepted, we are fully graced with everything. And it's so beautiful. It really is. Really, truly beautiful. But it's a journey, because we have these hidden things. We have these hidden vibrations. We have these hidden traumas and experiences that just love to trigger us every so often, right? In a conversation or an activity that we're holding close to us, that, we think it's comfort, but it's really pain or hurt or trauma. And we call it comfort. It's very abnormal, but we have to go into this awareness, space of really looking within ourselves and getting an understanding. So today is about our words, our thoughts, and our identity. And in this not Think and Grow Rich, As a Man Thinketh book, it says that whatever your present environment may be, you will fall, remain, or rise with your thoughts, your vision, or your ideal. You will become as small as your controlling desire, as great as your dominant aspiration. In the beautiful words of Stanton Kirkham Davis, you may be keeping accounts, and presently you shall walk out of the door that for so long has seemed to you the barrier of your ideas, and shall find yourself before an audience, the pen still behind the ears, the ink stains on your fingers, and then there shall pour out the torrent of your inspiration. One day you're working so hard at whatever you're working at. Sometimes you're striving, right, to achieve, because you're just in that place of just doing and feeling like I need to do in order, to become and to be fulfilled. And that is, effort. He says here, effort is, it's what you get from effort is you get that result. But you still have to carry that vision, that dream, that purpose. So you got to start from there. The greatest achievement was at first and for a time a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird waits in the egg, and in the highest vision of the soul, a waking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of reality. And it's really how you behold that dream. Maybe one day, my dad was raised in poverty. He was down in Jane and Finch in Toronto area, and his family was, they received the Toronto Star gift boxes for Christmas. And I'm thinking, my dad was one of those kids, like one of those families that received, gifts that people that didn't even know him, didn't know the family, put together for Christmas to make sure that families had gifts on Christmas. Now I think of my dad and being a young boy and receiving those gifts, and as a child, it's just wonderful. You really don't know any better, but that is what he knew. That is what he knew, was what a stranger would give to him. Didn't know him, wasn't something that he could ask for. He was just given what he was given and being appreciative of it. And that's a really beautiful thing, but that was the environment. And my dad grew up being, a corporate leader, pastor, incredible husband, an incredible father, and now a wonderful grandfather. And my mom the same. My mom grew up, in a very simple life on a farm. And they lived life simply. They worked hard. But their environment was working hard and not having much. The basics was good enough. You worked hard to be grateful for what was good enough. You watch other people, they watched other people out in the world getting more and working hard, but with more than what they had. And that was their environment. So they had to fight through a lot of beliefs of discovering the more of what was really for them, what was really destined for them. And my mom's a creator. She loves to create. She loves to create gifts, and right now she's painting, and she's spending every day. She's spending time in being creative in her painting, and she's come so far from being a businesswoman, being branch manager, and serving so many people from different walks of life with wealth and poverty, and she took in other people's experiences and what they saw, what they envisioned. And so she was always creating. She was always seeing big pictures of things that she desired to have more. And so my dad and her, they went on different ventures of purchasing investment properties and raising children. And my dad, his visions of his life was, family vacations and making sure that his family were well taken care of. And in his mind, he built up the understanding of what that could look like for his family, what that could look like for his life, and he knew that he was blessed by God. And so these opportunities would come to his life and he would be able to step into them. But through that process, there was a lot of barriers that, had to be broken down. And you would see him as a later man, or see my mom as a later woman, established and doing everything that they could do. And people could look at them and say, oh, he was lucky. Oh, she was lucky. Their life was so good. And we see people, right? They at the revival of their life and saying, oh, luck had them. Oh, chances are they were just, they were dealt a good card in their life. Some people are dealt bad cards and some people are dealt good cards. Well, that is true, isn't it? But it really comes down to what we behold in our mind, what we cherish, what we believe to be true, what we dare to believe to be possible for our lives. You're not determined, whether you were rich or poor growing up. Everyone has barriers. Everyone has beliefs. Everyone has limitations, but it's the willingness to step into the possibilities that all things are possible. Through God, all things are possible. God and His entire universe are working out for your good. And so when you behold that, so if you're willing to let go, that limitation of, I was raised poor, I was raised this, I was raised to just be grateful for what I was given. And then that's where you will remain. If that's where your thoughts are, and then you hold on and you cherish that pain and you cherish those comforts that are really limiting and bearing your life, and that's where you will remain. That's where you will rise to. And if that's what you choose, then that's okay for you. If that's what you choose to believe, because whatever you choose is what you'll receive. In all human affairs, there are efforts and there are results. And the strength of the effort is the measure of the result. Chance is not. Gifts, powers, material, intellectual, and spiritual possessions. They are the fruits of effort. They are thoughts completed, objects accomplished, visions realized. Seeing things come to life after you have, allowed that experience to happen within you, and taking effort towards the fruit of your life of experiencing that. The vision that you glorify in your mind, the ideal that you enthrone in your heart, this you will build your life by. This you will become. It's very, very powerful. And when you think about that, what do I most love? What do I cherish in my life? And what does it say about cherishing that? Right? What does that mean to cherish that vision or that picture or that, purpose? Right? To love it more than your life is not the thing. So I'm not saying that. But you have to have a desire, a picture of the more, right? Things don't just happen by chance. It's by having a desire, having a picture, having a vision, and making efforts towards that, and building your life towards those things gets the results of that, the beauty, the fulfilled vision. So your thoughts they do equal your identity of who you are, whose you are, and why you're doing what you're doing, and why does it matter. And why it matters to me is it says that God says, I know the plans for you, Grace. I know the plans that I have for you. Plans to prosper and not fail. But when you see somebody, through an accomplished life, they'll say, oh, they were so lucky. They were, everything just came together. They just all came together just like that. He just helped, like I said before. They were dealt a good card. They lived a good life, but they did not see the fallings. They did not see the trials. They did not see the tribulations. They didn't say, like, you have any entrepreneur. I love that. We were in an entrepreneurial group on Thursday, and I was talking to somebody. I said, hey, how are you doing? And he's like, okay, all right. I said, oh, that is the look and the shake of the head of a typical entrepreneur. I'm staying in there. I'm staying the course, but I'm not so sure how it's going to work out. I'm just going to hold my faith, hold my picture, hold my vision, and stay the course. And that's it, right? There's rising and there's falling. but holding that picture and that vision and that idea of what it is that you're going after, what is it that you're creating, what is it that you're building, what is it that you're believing for, and staying that course despite what is taking place. When it comes right down, what is the picture and the vision that you're holding within yourself? Have you allowed yourself, so this is an exercise that I want to do with you. Have you allowed yourself just to sit there again, be holding that picture of you and seeing yourself in that picture? It says that one day, you know, those things that you're a barrier, one day you'll just presently walk out the door with the pen behind your ear and the ink still on your hands. You've been working so hard on that project and that idea, and it's just like you're not even paying attention of really the details of the speed or the expanse, the like how far you've gotten or traveled. You'll just one day realize, like, wow, how did I get here? It actually happened. Wow, this is amazing. That vision is fulfilled. Has that ever happened to you? It certainly has happened to me. It certainly has happened to me. One day I was folding clothes in my family room, and I had this random idea that I was going to be a ward counselor, city councilor of the town that I live in one day. I said it out loud. I said to my husband, I said, I think I'm going to be a city councilor in 4 to 5 years. And it was so random because I'd never thought of it before. Like, honestly, I was in, politics and paid attention to politics, and, as important as it is for us. But for myself, that was just a really, really random thing. But I captured that idea and I held it. And then I started to think about it, along the way, and just paying attention to things. And sure enough, 4 to 5 years later, somebody approached me and said, this may sound really strange to you, but have you ever considered being a counselor in the town that you live in? Have you ever considered that? And I said, that is so interesting. And I remembered that moment, of that picture of me, and I held it. I'm like, what would that look like? And I spent some time and I just accepted and I took it in, and then I kind of laid it down. And then, 4 or 5 years later, it was taking place. But there were so many things in between that happened that got me up to that point for that to happen. And I wasn't like just holding on to that idea, but it was there. It was a seedling, and that seed that I allowed to accept had everything in me to be able to do the course. So everything up to that point that I had gone through, that I discovered and done in my life, brought me to the place of just being able to step forward, the first step, right, of saying yes and putting my name in for counsel. So it's really interesting, and it's really important for us to really take hold of our thoughts, create that vision and that picture, and know that our efforts are moving towards something. My dad is a child and a family with no money, rose up to be in corporate level of an oil company. He traveled across the world with his family, took vacations with his kids, provided us with a beautiful home and security and safety. So blessed. And my mom going from a place of running a farm at 12 years old, very uncertain, very dysfunctional family, to a place of operating, being a branch manager, working in the banking system for over 30 years. Am I proud of my parents? I am so proud of them, because I know what, I can see like the things that they had to fight in order to, to move forward in their lives. And they had to make lots of decisions, whether they were going to believe it or they won't, and move into those places. And you may be the same as me, questioning myself and my identity. But I understand, and I question, and I continue just to, ask myself, what is it that I truly believe? Do I believe where I'm headed? Do I believe that I'm a called person, that I'm a purpose person, and that I didn't just arrive here, that I'm exactly where I am right now, where I need to be? The vision that you glorify in your mind, the ideal that you enthrone in your heart, this you will build your life. By this you will become. Build that vision within yourself and that picture of the importance of what it is that you want to grow into 2025. And ask yourself this question tonight for your homework, for my homework. is where's my belief and my identity? What are the words that I'm holding? How am I recognizing myself? When I walk out that door and I finally step into that arena, step into that place of what I am, envisioning, what I'm seeing for my life. What does that look like? What does that sound like? Who am I surrounding myself with? Who is my environment? Where do I need to change environments? How do I add people to my life that are going to help inspire me to that next level, to that higher belief of faith and activation? I would love to do that for you. I just love to sit down with people and hear about their lives and see the patterns and the rhythms that that they have, the things that the course of their direction of what's taking place, and hearing their passion and watching them get excited when they talk about certain topics. And then they're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't really know what to do. I'm like, oh, you so know what to do. It's been happening inside of you for a very long time. And then we start to unpack ideas and formulate plans and organize them in the place of efforts so that they have the fulfillment of dreams. I'm going to have my fulfillments of dreams, and so will you. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Be well, be happy, be fulfilled.